Tonight on Grady Newsource, police are still searching for the suspect of an attempted sexual assault. An update on the number of coronavirus cases at the University of Georgia. And why Barrow County is urging its citizens to fill out the census.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Cheyenne Jones. Welcome to Grady Newsource. The Athens-Clarke County Police are looking for help on a suspect in an attempted sexual assault that happened Saturday, September 12th, around 11:30 p.m. in the area of South Harris Street and Deering Street. Police say the female victim reported that she was walking home when a muscular, tan male grabbed her from behind, pulled her into the nearby bushes, and attempted to remove her clothing. The victim was able to fight the male off and escape, and the suspect ran, according to the police report. Anyone with information about the incident or suspect is asked to contact Detective Rick Deering at 706-400-7174 or the Crime Stoppers tip line at 706-705-4775. Hurricane Sally made landfall on the coast of Alabama early this morning as a Category 2 hurricane. A flash flood watch was issued for the Northeast Georgia starting at 2 p.m. this afternoon and is expected to last until 8 a.m. Friday morning. Cassidy Hannon tells us why this hurricane season is so active.
On top of everything going on with the pandemic, we are in the midst of a particularly active hurricane season, with the peak lasting from mid-August to October.
This year is lining up very nicely, unfortunately, for a lot of storms, tropical storms and hurricanes.
According to trained meteorologist Dr. John Knox, there are a few distinct reasons this season is looking different.
The reason for that is that the oceans are warmer than normal, the Atlantic, for example, much warmer than normal. And this year we have much lower than average vertical wind shear over the Atlantic. You put those two things together, those are probably the two most important factors for hurricane development.
Facing the potential of an active hurricane season combined with the ongoing pandemic, Dr. Marshall Shepard, director of the Atmospheric Sciences program at UGA, has a few important questions for us to keep in mind.
If we're evacuating or faced with a situation where we have to evacuate, not just from a hurricane, but even maybe a tornado, do we go into a shelter? How do we social distance in that shelter? Are those shelters even open because of the pandemic?
The CDC also emphasizes the importance of staying up to date on information, as shelter locations may be different this year due to the pandemic.
Check in on where the shelters are, check in on what counties have the highest sort of caseloads in case you might not want to evacuate to that county. You might pick another county. So it's just important to have these forethoughts about the situation given the backdrop of COVID-19 and an active storm season.
For Grady Newsource, I'm Cassidy Hannon.
Cassidy will be back later with more on the flash flood watch and Hurricane Sally's impact on Northeast Georgia. Residents of Oglethorpe County were recently notified of a contamination affecting their water supply. Grady Newsource reporter Jillian Tracy reports.
Lexington in Oglethorpe County mailed a notice out to its residents that the city's water system had violated a water drinking standard. The notice, which was mailed out on August 10th, stated that the water system had exceeded the maximum contaminant levels for gross alpha and combined uranium. The contamination was contained to one well located on 305 Union Point Road and is one of several that serve Lexington and its surrounding communities. The city's notice stated that the water contamination is a non-emergency issue and residents do not need to take any further action. The Georgia Environmental Protection Division notified the city of the violation on August 27th. The city then had 30 days to mail a notice out to residents. The city has taken the contaminated well out of service and is working with Oconee well drillers to obtain a filter to clean the water. George Spearing, Lexington City's water superintendent, said that it may take several weeks to complete the process of getting a filter. Once the filter is in place, the well's water can be cleaned in a matter of days. The increase in these contaminant levels may likely be due to granite. Dr. Uttam Saha, who has published articles on water quality, said that one of the contaminants, uranium, is naturally present in some rocks and groundwater supplies.
It's naturally occurring from the granite. Granite rock bears uranium-bearing mineral.
Dr. Saha said that these minerals can be dissolved by water underground. In the northern part of Georgia, water may be supplied by wells that go deep into the ground and drill into granite bedrock. Spearing said wells, like this one, with known traces of uranium, are tested quarterly for contaminants. The health effects associated with drinking contaminated water will vary from person to person, and according to Dr. Saha, will depend on many factors, such as if the individual has an underlying health condition. I'm Jillian Tracy, Grady Newsource.
UGA reports a decrease in COVID-19 cases with 421 new positive cases this week. The University Health Center reported 421 new positive coronavirus cases for the period of September 7th through the 13th, a decrease from the 741 new reported cases the previous week. Out of the 421 voluntarily reported cases, 404 were students, while only 17 were faculty. According to UGA Today, the cases reported this week show a 70% decline over the course of a week. The positivity rate of the university's surveillance test has also dropped since the week prior, from about 9% to 7%. Athens-Clarke County, which has a population of about 129,000 people, currently has a total of 4,639 cases. University reports can be found weekly on Wednesday on the University Health Center website. The Madison County School System released their weekly COVID-19 numbers update today. Grady Newsource reporter Jenna Maddox has more on the data trends in the school system.
Madison County schools opened back up for a hybrid in-person and online fall semester last month. Since then, members of the community have kept watch on how the school's openings would affect COVID-19 numbers. Some people have expressed concern over social media platforms for the reopening of the schools, while others have expressed support. Madison County Superintendent Michael Williams says the school system wants to be transparent and inform the community, but also asks for everyone to be sensitive and respectful as the numbers are released on a weekly basis. So what are the trends in numbers actually looking like? On August 19th, the first week Madison County schools were opened, there was only one positive case of coronavirus among students and staff and 52 quarantined for possible exposure. Today, there are 7 positive cases and 258 students and staff members in quarantine. For reference, there are over 5,000 students and 721 staff members within the school system. As far as future school closures go, the Madison County School District says there's no magic number it'll be based on if it were to happen. The district says they'll work closely with the local health department and the Georgia Department of Public Health to monitor and assess the situation. Reporting in Athens, Jenna Maddox, Grady Newsource.
The census will end its counting efforts on September 30th. Barrow County's response rate ranks among the highest in Georgia. Grady Newsource reporter Melissa Gee has the story.
If you've scrolled through Barrow County's social media, chances are you've seen this meme. Queen of 1,000 Memes, Madison Dean, is the Director of Economic Development in Winder. As a member of the Complete Count Committee, she has made memes to encourage residents to fill out the census.
Me being a millennial, that's just kind of how I connect on social media.
This strategy, along with marketing the census at food distributions and local libraries, has worked. 70.5% of Barrow County's residents have filled out the census. It ranks 6th in the state, outranking the counties around it. Ben McDaniel, head of the Complete Count Committee, has his own reason for why they rank so high.
Maybe that's the fall football atmosphere. We get very competitive around here.
McDaniel and Dean said one of the biggest challenges has been reaching those without internet access. However, there are ways for residents to access the internet if they don't have it. They can use one of the Barrow County School System's 16 buses with hotspot, or use a computer donated by Faircount, a nonprofit from Atlanta, at Winder City Hall or the Customer Center. Encouraging senior citizens to fill out the census has also been challenging. Dean said they often face scammers who hack into their bank accounts and social media. They also may not be as comfortable with using the internet. By educating them about the types of questions asked, they learn they won't need to provide sensitive information. One reason why census data is so important is because it helps businesses determine where they want to move. If they need to decide between 2 cities, they will use census data to choose the one with the higher population. Census data also determines where federal funding goes, since localities with higher populations receive more. David Cottrell, Associate Professor of Political Science in the University of Georgia School of Public and International Affairs, said it's also used to determine electoral district lines and basic representation in the U.S. According to the 2020 U.S. Census Bureau response data, Barrow County's response rate is above the national average of 65.9%. Melissa Gee, Grady Newsource.
UGA increased surveillance testing yesterday from 360 to 450 tests a day. However, students say it is not enough. A surge in cases has caused the university to have a higher demand than supply for testing appointments. Newsource journalist Danielle Harvey explains how this is affecting the University of Georgia's student body.
UGA increased surveillance testing this week from 360 to 450 tests a day. However, students say it is not enough. A surge in cases has caused the university to have a higher demand than supply for testing appointments. Before going to his grandmother's funeral, Jake Todd, a fifth-year finance major, wanted to be sure he wouldn't be spreading this test to any at-risk attendees there, especially since he'd be coming from a hotspot. Due to UGA surveillance testing facilities being booked to capacity for the week, he didn't make it to the funeral.
Demand has just far exceeded capacity, and the closest test I could find was in Atlanta when I looked last Sunday.
The surveillance testing registration website shows a limited number of testing appointments each day. With students making up 85% of surveillance testing cases, it is more important now than ever that students have immediate access to testing, especially since 4 in 10 people infected don't show symptoms, according to the UGA College of Public Health. Miyaka Kemp, a fourth-year music education major, had a similar situation to Jake's. Her roommate initially had trouble reaching the University Health Center to get tested. Miyaka ran into the same predicament.
The soonest I could get a date was on Friday. And I tried to schedule this on Monday. Like, that's a whole week of classes I'd have to miss out just waiting to get tested, and then add an additional 24 or 48 hours waiting for the results to come back in. And it's like, that's not acceptable, honestly.
The University Health Center says they can assist with medical assessment and testing, and that the Student Care and Outreach Center can discuss the option best suited for the individual circumstance. While the appointments are already booked a week in advance, the University Health Center still says that the appointments are available on a daily basis. Danielle Harvey, Grady Newsource.
Coming up, you may have to pump the brakes while driving in Oconee County in the coming months. How the city of Watkinsville is planning to make intersections safer next.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
Let's slow down for a moment. That's what the Watkinsville Police Department is hoping drivers will do in response to a new traffic proposal that will see big changes to the roadways in the city. Newsource reporter Nathan Moore took a drive to find out more.
Nobody obeys the speed limit. It's been over a year since the city of Watkinsville implemented higher fines in an effort to make the city's roadways more safe. But tonight, they take another crack at it. Police Chief Shannon Brock is proposing a measure to the City Council tonight that will see the maximum speed limit in the city lowered to 35 miles per hour, as well as adding stop signs to multiple intersections. One of the biggest changes will be adding 2 stop signs to create another 4-way stop on Simonton Bridge Road. I'm standing here at the intersection of Simonton Bridge Road and 3rd Street here in Watkinsville, which is a notorious intersection for pedestrians. In fact, while we've been standing here, a couple of passerbys have come up to us in the hopes that we were doing a story just about how difficult it is to cross the road here due to the traffic. Now, I spoke to Chief of Police Brock earlier in the week about the proposed changes to this intersection, and he says they have been long overdue.
The fines that were in place were really behind the times. You can reduce these speeds. I've literally sat and have watched pedestrians just absolutely struggle with their life, really, wanting to cross Simonton Bridge to get to the other side of the road.
Brock isn't the only one who's concerned. Kirsten Bradford owns Kiki's Bake Shop on Greensboro Highway, and she's no stranger to the consequences of high speeds on the roadways.
I was T-boned by somebody running a light, which is very common too here, and I was really injured. I had a lacerated liver, 2 broken legs. I was in the hospital. It was terrible. I think a lot of the accidents that happen are speed related, and a lot of it is completely unnecessary.
Unfortunately for Bradford and like-minded citizens, if the proposed changes are approved by the City Council, there is still a long process ahead before these measures will go into effect.
Once we've got the signs ordered and erected, we would give grace periods of a minimum of 30 days. I would not put a timeline any sooner than January 2021.
For Grady Newsource, I'm Nathan Moore.
A Madison County event has been canceled due to health concerns from COVID-19. Maddie McQueen brings us more details about this decision.
Nobody obeys the speed limit.
The coronavirus has led to the cancellation of many events this year. From national events like music festivals to local events like holiday parades, many people across the country have had special events taken from them during this pandemic. In Comer, Georgia, an announcement was made yesterday that the annual Christmas parade would be canceled.
The biggest thing is we have to plan the parade months in advance. A lot of people think everybody just shows up, lines up, and goes, but it's just not the case.
Community members had a mixed response to this decision. Some commenters praised the Comer mayor for his choice, while others were confused why their parade was canceled while the Madison County Fair can continue as planned next week.
I just think it's wrong taking away the parade for what they would love to see. But then they can have the fair, and it's just confusing because there's hundreds of people at the fair, and you walk and you step on each other.
Mayor Blackman says the city of Comer is following guidelines set by Governor Kemp, and those guidelines are what led his decision to cancel the event and err on the side of caution.
The fair is a totally different entity. It's sponsored by the Lions Club, and unfortunately they didn't involve us in any conversation about whether or not they wanted to cancel. I'm sure they had a rubric they went by, and they had a decision to make. And of course, they have outside vendors just like we do in the planning process, and they probably had a date where they said they either had to go or not go. And based on the information they had at the time, I'm assuming they said, okay, we're going to proceed.
In regards to the fair, Mayor Blackman says people should do what they're comfortable with. But at the Christmas parade, he says there would be no way to enforce social distancing or mask wearing, and he wants to keep everyone safe and healthy. Maddie McQueen, Grady Newsource.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in, help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now, the weather.
Good evening, I'm Cassidy Hannon with your Grady Newsource weather. We're under a flash flood watch as well as a hazardous weather outlook from the National Weather Service. We also have your 5-day forecast. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch for the majority of North and Central Georgia. That watch is in effect from 2 o'clock this afternoon to Friday morning at 8 a.m. Rainfall amounts could total to 5 to 7 inches. One aspect we definitely want to keep an eye on is the potential flooding of roadways. It is not safe to drive in flooded areas, or as the CDC says, turn around, don't drown. We are in a hazardous weather outlook through Tuesday. Today and tonight, bands of heavy rain associated with Sally will impact the area, increasing in coverage through the day today and overnight tonight. Now our 5-day forecast. Thursday and Friday are going to be our rainy days, but finally towards the beginning of next week, things start to dry up. We've got 2 sunny days in a row, if you can believe it. Sunday and Monday will have a high of 72. I'm Cassidy Hannon. This has been your Grady Newsource weather.
Extra, important UGA football news as well as upcoming schedule announcements coming your way.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
And now, sports.
Imagine you were trying to decide to go to a football game this weekend. So you decide maybe you want to go to a game under the Friday night lights in high school football, maybe go join a game at a big-time university that's local, or travel to the big city to watch your favorite NFL team play. No matter what game you decide to attend, there's always one major event that takes place before the game even starts. For football fans, tailgating is almost a pastime. Tailgating is an important part of football to football fans. According to Josh Brooks, Senior Deputy Athletic Director at the University of Georgia, it will be a combined effort from everyone at UGA to remind each other why it is important to maintain the no tailgating posture for the campus. It should be everyone's goal that game day be safe for all who attend. With this new rule, the University of Georgia and other schools are trying their best to limit the spread of COVID-19. From Grady Newsource, I'm Alex Joyce.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Thank you for watching Grady Newsource. This is Cheyenne Jones. Have a good night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in. Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine mine was to see the ocean.